Everything you did brought you where you are now. Where you belong. Home.
They're coming. Our enemy doesn't tire. Doesn't stop. Doesn't feel. I promise to fight for the living. I intend to keep that promise.
Hey everyone, it's Fentony. In this video I want to talk about the trailer dropping strong hints that Jon Snow is going to ride a dragon in the final season. One of the most anticipated parts of the final season of Game of Thrones is Jon's parentage. When is it going to be revealed and who's going to find out? We all know that Jon Snow is actually the son of Rhaegal Targaryen and Lyanna Stark. He's actually a true-born Targaryen, and Daenerys Targaryen, his lover / girlfriend, is actually his aunt. We don't know when the revelation is going to happen, but it's definitely going to happen at some point. It just has to. You know, you can't have Jon go through the entire series and never find out. The trailer does hint that his parentage might be revealed in the first couple episodes, and it's likely that Bran and Sam will be the ones to tell him, but I think it's eventually going to fall down to Sam, as you know he's the better person to tell Jon than Bran. Bran's a three-eyed raven now, he really can't register emotions, and of course this is going to be a massive deal for Jon. He needs his best friend Sam to tell him, as I feel that Sam will be able to break it to Jon in a better way than Bran could. I'm not sure how Jon's going to react to his parentage, but it's likely going to be a massive shock. You know, you went through your entire life thinking you're one person, but in fact you're someone else. We've also got to consider his relationship with Daenerys, and also with the Starks in the north. Honestly, there's lots of different views and we could spend a long time talking about this, but the Night King's on his way. Jon's parentage is a massive deal for us, but for the characters in the show they have to put it to one side. Jon Snow is a leader, and he's one of the characters that's been trying to warn about the Night King for some time now. His parentage is not going to stop him being a leader, but I think he might need a pep talk from family and friends to get him over his parentage. Q, Sam, Davos, Tormund, the Starks, Tyrion, Jaime, even Daenerys, pretty much everyone that's there for Jon. I imagine everyone's going to have something to say, and Jon might need to hear different opinions. Yeah, Bran did say in the season 7 finale that Jon's the heir to the Iron Throne, but Jon doesn't care about power. He won't want the Iron Throne. Jon cares about saving the ones he loves, and the realm. That's actually a very good quality for a leader. Even though Jon has never wanted power, he's always stepped up. He might actually be one of the most suitable people to lead after the War for the Dawn. But even though I've said 100 times the Iron Throne's not important, it kind of is as well. Cersei Lannister currently occupies the Iron Throne, and of course she has to be removed at some point. She's far too dangerous to stay on the Iron Throne. But like I said, the Night King's on his way, and episode 3, The Battle of Winterfell, the longest episode in Game of Thrones, is going to be a bloodbath. Everyone needs to be ready. So let's go back to the trailer. We saw Jon and Dany walking up to Drogon and Rhaegal. Rhaegal's had the lowest amount of screen time compared to the other two dragons, but this trailer has given him a lot, and it's hinting at a bigger role for him. I think that Jon Snow will ride Rhaegal just like how Dany rides Drogon. I think Jon will have to bond with Rhaegal at some point. He's already interacted with Drogon in season 7, but that was more so a wink at him being a Targaryen. Just as the line, "I'm not a Stark," and then a dragon flies overhead. I think once Jon's parentage is revealed and we get over the initial shock, Dany's going to push for him to ride Rhaegal, as she knows it'll help in the War for the Dawn, and she might even say, as a Targaryen, that's what we're meant to do. We're meant to ride dragons. Remember, Rhaegal is actually named after Jon's father, Rhaegar Targaryen, and Daenerys giving her blessing to Jon to allow him to ride a dragon kinda says a lot about the relationship. These dragons are her children, and she's given one of them to Jon. Just shows you how much she loves and trusts him. There's actually another scene in the trailer of the two dragons flying overhead. They don't have any riders on, but they might have been edited out, but I'm not sure about that. It seems like all the shots from the trailer are from episode 1 to 3, and this scene itself could be from the first couple episodes, but I don't think Jon's going to ride a dragon straight away. I think Jon's actually going to attempt to ride Rhaegal, but Rhaegal will refuse him, as Jon's still in conflict with himself. He can only ride Rhaegal once he accepts who he is. And I think that's going to happen later down the season when he has time to realise that he can be a Targaryen and a Stark, just like how he told Theon he can be a Greyjoy and a Stark. Being a true-born Targaryen doesn't make him the Mad King. He can still be the man raised by Ned Stark. He will always see himself as Ned Stark's son. He'll always see himself as the brother of Robb, Sansa, Arya, Bran and Rickon. But he has to accept who he was born as and embrace his parentage. So honestly, I think the earliest Jon's going to ride a dragon is in the battle in episode 3. We know that Jon has to be on the ground leading the troops. We've seen him on the ground, but of course it's just a trailer. But I think he's definitely on the ground leading the troops, fighting with Longclaw. It's going to be 82 minutes long, and it's going to have multiple different points of view from our favourite characters. It's likely that Jon's going to have a big role in this battle. As for Daenerys, she's probably riding Drogon in battle against the Night King and Viserion, high above Winterfell. I think Rhaegal is likely to be there as well, but I think Viserion's going to dominate the fight. He was smaller than Drogon when he was alive, and less experienced in battle. Drogon's always been the alpha, even from birth. And of course Rhaegal and Viserion were locked up for a long time, whilst Drogon had free reign. But now Viserion is the Night King's dragon, and I think he'll be just as powerful as Drogon, or maybe both dragons combined. People say he moves much faster than Drogon, and his blue fire is going to be stronger, but honestly we don't know that. But I think Viserion has to be just as powerful, if not more. I think his whole purpose is to be Dany's final boss. He's one of her dragons, one of her children, but he belongs to the Night King now, and I think that Dany has to put him to rest, or the realm is screwed. There's lots of theories on what kind of dragon Viserion is, whether he's a White Walker or a White, and lots of people have debated this, the fact that he died or the fact the Night King touched him. But the Season 7 Episode 7 script did say the Night King turned Viserion in the same way as Craster's sons, but this is a dragon. So that would make him a White Walker dragon, but he was also dead, so wouldn't that make him a White? Here's my take on it. Ignore the previous rules, even though they were never explicitly stated. Viserion is special, and he's going to be incredibly powerful. I don't think Drogon and Dany can do it on their own. They might need help from Jon Snow, who needs to ride Rhaegal to unlock their full potential. Rhaegal is smaller than Drogon, but he's still a dragon, but maybe having a rider will make him much more effective. The bond between a rider and its dragon I think makes the dragon much more powerful, and also the rider. But Jon has to accept who he is before he can ride Rhaegal, and I think that's going to happen in the heat of the moment, just like how Daenerys did in the fighting pits of Meereen. Of course it is a big deal riding a dragon, and it's actually very scary. Daenerys is obviously the mother of dragons, she's the whole reason these dragons hatched and she's watched them grow up, but she was even unsure about riding Drogon the very first time. But look at them now, they're in complete sync. I honestly think Winterfell will fall to the Night King, and Jon could actually be left inside the castle whilst everyone else escapes. I think that's something Jon would do, sacrifice himself to save everyone else. Everyone else is going to flee through the crypts of Winterfell, but Jon will stay behind to give them time. But I do think if this happens, Rhaegal's actually going to come and save Jon and fly him to safety. It's likely that Viserion's going to be very busy fighting Drogon at this point, so if Jon and Rhaegal can get in the air, then they should get away no problem. And then on to King's Landing. Jon and Rhaegal might need to join Daenerys and Drogon in battle against the Night King in the skies above King's Landing. But I don't think Jon's going to spend all his time in the air. I'm actually very worried about Rhaegal. I think he's going to be severely harmed or killed either by Viserion or even by Cersei, using her upgraded scorpions or even wildfire. But I want to know in the comments below what you think about Jon Snow riding Rhaegal. The last two Targaryens, Aegon and Daenerys, riding the last two dragons. But don't forget about Ghost, Jon's direwolf. They also share a very powerful bond. Jon's not going to ditch Ghost for Rhaegal. I actually think we'll get a scene with all three of them together, with Jon, Rhaegal and Ghost. And it's going to show us that Jon can be a Targaryen and a Stark at the same time. The circumstances of her birth don't define us, it's how we are raised and how we choose to be. Jon Snow will always be Ned Stark's son, but I think he'll embrace who he is, embrace the fact he was born Aegon Targaryen. I don't think he'll use the name Aegon. Dany might call him it once and he'll say, no, I'm still Jon Snow. But I think Jon will embrace who he is, he'll be a Stark and a Targaryen. He'll have a direwolf and a dragon. So if you guys got any requests, just let me know. I'm still working on some videos for the trailer. There's still stuff we can talk about. Honestly, there's just so much in there we could speculate for a long time. But we're getting so close to the final season. It's likely we're going to get some new stuff very, very soon. I don't know if we're going to get another trailer. Personally, I hope we don't, as I think we've seen enough. But it's likely we're going to get some other teasers. Probably some small footage now and then. But I'm so excited. Can't wait for the final season. Anyways guys, remember to leave your thoughts in the comments below and then subscribe and like the video. Thank you so much for watching and I'll see you in the next one.